Welcome to Throwback Thursday 2021. This is very nostalgic for me. This was the first Dephemerember my dear friend Louise Heinzel and I hosted together. This was our prompt list, and the prompt we chose from this prompt list was prompt number 11, hand or machine sewing and postcard. So you can find that here on our current Dephemerember 2025 list for Thursday, Throwback Thursday 2021, postcard and hand or machine sewing. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. So every Thursday in December, Louise and I are going to revisit one of the prompts from one of the previous years, starting with 2021. And if you're completely lost, what is Dephemerember? What are these prompts? This is the time of year where Louise and I post videos during December to get your creative juices flowing with some fun prompts. If you've missed the previous days, please check out the playlist below. Both Louise's and my playlists are linked below this video. And also you can find our info pages where we have everything you need to know about Dephemerember. This is so funny because we didn't even put a year on this because Louise and I did not know we were going to continue doing this, and we are in year 5. So it is super fun to see this list and how things have changed since then. This was the journal I made after Dephemerember 2021, I think in January. It is part of my playlist for Dephemerember 2021, which I will link for you below as well in case you want to see how I made this cover or how I made any of the things in this journal. This is by far the largest Dephemerember journal I made, and I still absolutely adore this cover. So again, if you want to see how I made that, please check it out in the playlist below. So this is the spine, and I added these adorable charms, which are all very vintage. They're all from my mom. She collected these everywhere that they traveled to. There's a wooden nickel from the US. Charleston, Massachusetts. These are from South America. There's an Austrian one. So cute. And this is the back. I also really love the closure that I made here. At the front, we have the back. So again, check the video if you want to see this in more detail. I'm not going to give you a full flip through because you can see that in the playlist if you're interested. But let's go find the postcards that we made back in 2021. It is so fun to look through these. And there's so many elements in this journal that I really still love. But also, this journal would have needed a lot more love. Obviously, I have lost interest in it after a while. Can anyone relate? I love that I have some original hand-drawn things here, like this bird or this plant here. Love this pocket. I think this was an idea by G. Kerr, if I'm not mistaken. So here's one of the postcards. So this was a printable, and in the back here, see, not very smart. I used a doily, which I dyed and then added some collaging on top. But you see, the doily is not the best option for a pocket because it's too flimsy. So I would not do that again today. But I love seeing creations from my past because I see how much I've learned in the meantime. So there's the stitching, of course. So that was one. So let's find this second one. Like, I love all these page tabs that we made. Here's the second one. This one only has some printed stitching. Oh, no. Look, we have a button here. I remember we had these handmade buttons, which I think are super cute. And I actually stitched that on before gluing, before gluing the pocket on. Super simple. That's a real postage stamp. That is again from the print. I will link this print for you also below in case you want to play around with that. There's a tuck spot here. I think it's so cute. When I look at this now, I would never make this now, but I think it's so cute. Oh, I love this too. Anyway, so if you want to see more of this, as I said, the playlist is linked below for you. Oh, this needs to go in there. Maybe I'll just share one mistake I made with this particular journal is the cover is not sturdy enough. So I used wallpaper, and there is, I believe, packaging in between. Yeah, you can see it. There's packaging in between here. I think 2 layers, or paper bag. I think it's a paper bag. And then there's fabric on top, but it's not sturdy enough. I mean, it feels quite sturdy, to be honest, when I do this. But as I had it standing up in my shelf, look, this just completely bent, which I really don't like. So now I keep it laying flat, but I of course like all my journals to stand up in my shelf. So that's kind of a pity, but definitely something I learned from. So I want to make 8 pieces in total. 6 of them are going to be from this paper, which is an artist pad, 180 GSM in natural white. And I just cut up 1 sheet of A4 paper into 6 even pieces. I know this is not your typical postcard size, but who cares? Your postcard can be any size or shape you want. It could even be round. And then I also want to use 2 of these. I found these at an art store. A6, which I think is like your usual postcard size. 320 GSM, 100% cotton rag from South India, acid free. So we'll take 2 of these. I love the ragged edge on these, but I don't know how they're going to react. They are really, really sturdy. As I said, 320 GSM, that is quite heavy. So I'm curious how these are going to work. So I'm going to work on my Media Matte by Tim Holtz. This is very easy to clean afterwards. I'm going to start maybe with the smaller ones because I really don't know how those other ones are going to react. And this artist paper has a smooth side and a more grainy side. I would say we'll work on the grainy side. Let's start with one. I'm gonna wear my gloves. And I'm going to work with sprays. So I have a mixture of some distress spray stains, some distress mica stains, and some distress spritz, all by Ranger and Tim Holtz. I'm going to lay these on the side so that the pigment can move into the liquid. Okay, I want these to be moody, and I definitely need them to have a little bit of gold because I haven't really used gold at all. So I'm going to start off with this fun stencil. Let's mist the back of our stencil. And let's just start spraying. Maybe we start with a lighter color. For example, Distress Spray Stain Lost Shadow is a super light one. Then let's add some of this Distress Mica Stain Decayed, one of the most amazing colors ever. You know what? I should be doing like some parallel. Why are we just doing one at a time? Let's move this over. Let's do at least another one. That's fine. Okay, I forgot to press play. I can't believe it. So I don't know how much you missed now. Shoot. So I took the stencils off and I put the stencils on this card here just after, I just took it off, put it on here, got these cool bases to start off with. And then I'm going to dry these now. And this one I just dipped in the color that was all around here. can't believe I didn't press play. Okay, so I'm just going to dry these now. Okay, these are like semi-dry. Look at the beautiful sheen of those mica stains and distress spritz. So fun. And this one is starting to look super cool, but let's keep dabbing it into the pigments to just add layers and layers of goodness. And then we'll dry that again. Okay, then I'm going to use the same stencil and I'll spray some spiced marmalade distress spritz on top of this one first. Then let's turn that around and put that on this one. Don't see too much of that. And then for this one, I'll use this stencil again and Distress Spritz Mode Lawn. Actually, I'm going to turn it around so it lays more flat. And then let's add some of that. Because again, we don't want to waste what's on the stencil. Let's put that here. Okay, that it didn't add too much. I think so far this is my favorite. This paper is really cool. This handmade cotton rag paper. Wow, that really absorbs the pigments beautifully. Okay, what else do we do with these? I feel like it needs more contrast, more moodiness. Let's try the peeled paint distress spritz on this one. Let's just use the nozzle and get some splattering. Yep, that works really well. Let's do that here as well. And here. So it's actually quite a few hours later. I realized at the end of the last segment that I have to rush off for a strength training session with my coach. And then I came back, cooked, ate, walked on my walking pad because I felt absolutely stuffed. I still do. But it gave me the opportunity to now see all these cards with fresh eyes. And what I'm looking for in these cards is some depth. So this one definitely still needs a little more depth. These two are, I think, getting there. Not quite there yet, but getting there. So let's aim to create more depth. How do we create more depth? With more layers and with a color variation, I would say. For this one to create more depth, I can go either lighter or darker. Let's try to lighten some of this up. I'm again going to use this stencil. I'll put the side up that has less paint on it, or ink, I should say. Then let's take a baby wipe and see if we can get rid of some of that ink by rubbing over it. You see that? That definitely creates more depth. It's almost like reverse splattering. Ooh, yeah. Do you see that? Very cool effect. But it also needs some more splatters. What did I use before? I think I used the Mode Lawn. So what if we take a different shade? This is Cracked Pistachio. It's quite a bit darker, you see? Again, I'm just going to use the nozzle. And let's add some to these two. And then let's also try the Uncharted Mariner Distress Spritz. Notice I did not dry these in between. I'm hoping that some of these will land on the other wet areas and mix a little bit. Let's try adding some stamping. I want to use this one by Paper Artsy. Designer is Seth Apter. It's called Eclectica. And I want to use this funky one right here. And what we need to keep in mind is when we're using either Distress Spritz or the mica stains, that these colors will always stay on the surface. So even if I stamp something on top now, it's going to look like I stamped it before I added these metallic colors. I'm going to use the Archival Ink Coffee because I think black would be too stark. So I think this will be quite subtle. So you see how that metallic effect is on top of the stamp now. Let's use the same stamp partially on this one. It doesn't show up very well. We only see little details of it, but that's okay. It adds to the visual texture. And for this one, should we maybe try the black? Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So I think I'll leave these for now. They definitely all have depth. They have a similar color range. Let's do these three. And we also still have this blank one here. So let's stick with a similar technique. I'll do, is that wide enough? Yeah, it'll be okay. I'll do this stencil with the number THS 051. I think it's also called Lost and Found, if I'm not mistaken. So again, let's wet this, or mist it, I should say. Place it down. Bringing in two new colors and two new mediums, Distress Oxide sprays. So I have Weathered Wood and Pumice Stone. One is a colder gray and one is a warmer gray. That was a lot. For the next one, I'm going to use this stencil. I don't have a name or brand for this. I'm so sorry. Let's do the Weathered Wood. Let's add this to our big card. Oh yeah, loving this. Okay, then let's check this one. Ooh, that's also really nice. Should we try the reverse on this one? Also interesting. So I'm going to dry these. Okay, let's put this over this again and try adding some more color on top. So I'll again use the Weathered Wood, which is what we had here. Then let's add Mica Stain Crooked Broomstick again. And some water. Okay, then let's add this on top of this one. Ooh, I do like that. Very cool. Activate it a little more and add it on top of this one even. Ooh, yes please. Not sure about this one. What if we spray some more of the warm pumice stone? Maybe add some more water first. I know. Maybe this wasn't so good. We'll just keep layering until we're happy. What do we do with this one? Should we try some blue? No, before we do this, let me dry this one. Then let's go in with this one. I believe this one is Dinah Wakely. And do again the negative technique with the wet baby wipe. Ooh, that really came out well. Okay, what else? I'm really liking this one, but it's not done. Let's use the same stencil. And this time I'll use my spray stain tarnished brass because we haven't used any gold yet, or in this case it's brass. That nozzle is also a little bit clogged, I have a feeling. I'm not sure about that, but we could put this, which one shall we put it? Either this one or this one, or a bit of both maybe. Let's do the strong one here. I mean, by the strong one, I mean the one that's very opaque, because there was a lot of color on that. That's a complete mess. And then what if we spray that one more time and try it on this one? Yeah, that one's better. This one, not so much. But I do like these cards. I'm not sure if they're done, probably not, but I'm liking how those are turning out. These ones are still very much in the making. Okay, let's do this one again. And this time I'll try the Mica Stain Frozen Fog. And let's combine that with Mica Stain Winter Frost. Oh, another clogged nozzle. Oh, this is so frustrating. Okay, let's add this to that. Ooh, more mess. I'm here for it. Okay, so since that didn't work, let's just use the nozzle again. And I know you can soak these in warm water. Somehow that never seems to work for me. Maybe I'm too impatient. I don't know. I want a different splatter effect. This is too... It's all over the place, you know what I mean? I know splatters are all over the place. But I think I want them to look a little bit different. So let's try with this one. Okay, first of all, I'll take a brush like this. Fan brush. Then let's put some here. Oh, I can't. I forgot. Let's do this. It's a beautiful color. Let's add a little bit of water. Yeah, see, that's a totally different kind of splatter. See the difference? I mean, never mind that this is much lighter, but look at the shape and the size of the drops. Huge difference. Let's add some here as well, because why not? Let's add more water and dip some of this and let that run. Do it on the opposite end. Ooh, yeah, this is cool. I like it. Maybe let's do that here as well. There's too much white on this card for my taste. Let's just keep going. We're compartmental making or mass making. So we'll just keep doing the same steps. Okay, I'm not loving these splatters at all, so let's get rid of them. That's a good thing. Much better already. Then We'll just dip this one in. Add some more water. Soaking up all that yumminess. Okay, this definitely needs more depth. Okay, I have something else in mind with these two, so I'm going to leave these two for now. And with these, or maybe, I'm not sure about this one yet, but these three, I'm going to use the same stamp here from Paper Artsy and Set After, but I'm going to do some embossing this time. So I'm using my clear embossing dabber by Ranger. I'll do one here. Freshen that up a bit. Let's do one here. And also here. Let's try different colors. This one, let's do in white. Yeah, that's gonna look cool. This next one, oh, it looks like it's drying already. This might just turn out to be a complete mess. I'm trying gold. Yeah, okay, better than I thought. And for this last one, I want to try the Evergreen Bow Distress Glaze, but I haven't ever used this, so it's not open yet. Time is of the essence here. I don't want the embossing gel to dry on me. I think this dried completely. Oh no, Barbara. What a beautiful color. Not completely. Okay, actually this might still be fine. Yay! Let's do some magic. So there's one. Loving that. So here's the gold embossing powder. And this was the Evergreen Bow embossing glaze. So the difference between the glaze and the embossing powder is that the glaze is translucent and the powder is completely opaque. Loving these three. And these two, which I said needed more depth, I mean, this one is doing way better than this one. I am going to run through my die cut machine with these two 3D embossing folders. Actually, this is 3D and this is a texture fade. So the one here with the dots is called Dotted with the number 666292. And the other one here with the doily, which is a 3D texture fade, is called Doily with the number 665735. Both are Tim Holtz and Sizzix. Okay, so I'll run those through my machine. Okay, so let's see what these look like. I haven't seen it yet. Ooh, yes. Yes, yes, look at this beauty. Oh my goodness, this is perfect. And let's check this one out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. How beautiful. They don't have a lot more depth yet, although we did add some depth now. Oh, also the back looks very cool. But we can enhance the design and make it more visible. So usually I would go over these with something like vintage photo or maybe walnut stain. But Dephemerember is about experimenting. So on this one, I'm going to try Evergreen Bow Distress Oxide. Oof, I don't think I've ever done this with a color before, but oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, this is really coming out nicely. Gorgeous. And that definitely gave it more dimension now and more depth. Let's try crushed olive for this one. These are so not my colors, which is great because I'm going out of my comfort zone, trying new things. Oh, wow. You can hardly see it on camera, I think. Should I go over it with something darker? Maybe we add a little bit of evergreen bough as well, just partially. This needs more depth. Let's add an even darker color or a different color on top. Or let's do the following. So we have the Distress Spritz Cracked Pistachio. Never used this before. Let's get a small paintbrush and just add some on some of these dots. You see that shimmer? Just a little bit. Yeah, that again added some more depth. And this one, let's just add some sprinkles. Not sprinkles, Barbara, splatters. Thinking of food, apparently. Oh, food. Why don't we have a treat? We have these lovely treats from Louisa, where we've just tried the mochi so far, the rice cakes. Let's do that here as well. Let's use the splatter brush, this is annoying. And everywhere. This is mass making. We're just going to repeat the same steps. So while those dry, let's try one of these yummy things. So these look like they're Spanish. Which one do I want? Let's try this one. I'm so curious. Oh, very interesting shape. They look like they may be, yeah, I think they're chewy. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? These melt on your tongue. Contains milk, soya, hazelnut. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Louisa, I just fell in love with you all over again. Wow. That was a taste explosion in my mouth. You're keeping this. You never know. Wow. I am blown away. This is so good. Just what I need to know. I'd say these are all done. All of these 6. So are these, even though now compared to the other ones, I don't really like them. I think mostly because there's too much contrast and too much contrast between the splatters and the background, and also the splatters are way too big. But we can definitely still use these, maybe not as postcards, but maybe for dies. That could be cute. But these could definitely be used as postcards. I think first they need to be inked up. These I will just leave for now. And then I'll take my very worn out distress tool and walnut stain and ink up the edges. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. You see that? So I'll do that for all of the cards. So let's remind ourselves, what is the prompt actually? Postcard and hand or machine sewing. So currently these are neither postcards nor do they have any sewing on them. Good job, Barbara. We spent all this time and we have nothing from the prompt yet. Okay, so if I want to add some sewing, first of all, I'm going to add machine sewing because I don't have the time or the nerves now to do hand stitching, which is something I actually usually enjoy doing. And since the backs of these look like crap, let's be honest, we're going to have to back these. So in this case, I'm going to stitch on them before I back them so that we don't see the back side of the stitching, which is usually not as pretty, and it will not impact the actual postcard part of the prompt. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and we'll see what happens. I can't tell you yet. I don't know. I will figure that out when I'm at the sewing machine. So let me share my stitching adventures. This one has 2 lines of running stitches around it in black. This one has a bit of a crazy stitching around it in black. Then I ran out of the black thread in the bottom spool, so I thought, okay, that's an opportunity to change the color, and I used this kind of like evergreen bow color to go around it again twice with a running stitch. This one here has my most common and favorite stitch, which is going around it twice with a running stitch plus a 3rd time, alternating between a zigzag and a running stitch. Then on this one, I decided to go crazy again a little bit. Finally, for this one, I just used a zigzag stitch all the way around. And we're going to back these. So for the 3 large ones, I'm going to use the same paper just to adhere on the back. And for the more square ones, I just cut from the same artist paper, the same size that we have for these, and we'll back those. But first we need to make them look more like actual postcards. I'm going to be using some stamps, but if you don't have stamps and you really want your cards to look like postcards and you don't want to hand draw, I do have some freebies for you. These have been on my Ko-fi site for a while, but I'm guessing a lot of you don't have them yet. So feel free to download those. You can find the links below in the description box. There is a more vintage version and there is a more modern version, depending on what you prefer. So if you plan on using those freebies, be sure to print them out first, either full size or you scale them down a little bit, because then you know what size you have. And then according to that, you can make your cards. Since I have some stamps, I am more flexible with the sizes, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I do have a few options. So this is a stamp set by Dephemerember. I unfortunately don't know the name, but this one actually says Postcard, so we can use that. Here we have a few with just, you know, the squiggly line and some other stamps. This is a really nice one. These are no name. I've had these forever and ever. So these could be cute. And by the way, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can also, of course, use some faux stitching. Like I have a stamp here. But you can also always do some hand stitching. So I think I have one more set that has some post-stitch options, a little more modern. Yeah, this one here. Also, unfortunately, a no-name set. I've had this for a long time. There's this one. Yeah, maybe I'll use this one for a stamp. I don't know. Let's see. And if you're interested in my stamp storage system, I will link how I put this together for you below. I think I made this about 2 years ago and I'm still super happy with these. And this just stands upright on my bookshelf. So I'll do the same thing for these large ones. Not make it complicated. Try to stamp this kind of in the middle. Then let's just make a line here with a black marker. And down the middle. Totally looks like a postcard, right? You could also, of course, draw some more horizontal lines like for the address, but I don't want to limit myself that much either. So I think these are done for me. They look enough like a postcard. For these smaller ones, I want to add some actual postage stamps. One. Ooh, there's a beautiful Austrian one. 2. Ah, there's another Austrian one. 3. And then let's add this squiggly one. And then let's do a little bit of a different shape. This is a little bit more funky. There we go. Finally, let's adhere these. I don't want to add anything else here, no lines or anything, because I don't want to limit what I want to add, what I can add here to the back. Let's keep it super simple. So I'm gonna call it a day. We have 3 small postcards. So these are obviously not done. They are backgrounds, bases for me to probably collage on or to add a photo to. We'll see. And these are the 3 large ones, which are quite thick now because we have 2 papers with 320 GSM. So in total, 640 GSM for these. This will be more challenging to use. And then of course we still have these 3. Who knows what these are gonna be. So I'd say we are done with Throwback Thursday from 2021. So let's add these goodies to our box. Yay, it's so fun to see how this is filling up. Will we manage to get it full by the end of Dephemerember? I don't know, but it's looking pretty good. So I will hopefully see you back here tomorrow for journaling card and tiny letters. And if you haven't seen Louise's video for today's prompt, let's go watch that together now. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.